Now, one of the most versatile types of basses around these days is the PJ bass. And this is a bass which has a precision or split pickup closest to the neck and has a jazz or single coil pickup closest to the bridge. Now, these kinds of basses are very popular because they're versatile instruments. You can get a lot of different sounds out of them. But I know, at least by my standards, the one thing I was never really happy with on PJ basses, as much as I liked them, was the slap tone. I'm a guy who really preferred the treble and bass boost and relative lack of mids that you got out of a jazz bass, which gives it a really good slap tone. Or a bass like a Stingray, which just has a humbucker fairly close to the bridge, which gets you a nice bright sound. The thing about the PJ is that you have the split pickup, which gives you a lot of low mids, and then you have the bridge pickup, which gives you a lot of highs. Now the split pickup by itself has a really distinctive slap tone, and it actually works pretty well if you do the traditional boosting of bass and treble, like for instance. And so, that's a real, that kind of slap tone was really, really common in the late 70s, early 80s. I mean, I think about people like Byron Miller, who used to play for George Duke, got a tone very similar to that. But the boosting of bass and treble, in my opinion, gets a pretty gnarly tone on a PJ. I mean, it'll work. Some people like that sound, but I've never really been that keen on it. Now, what I've found out is to be kind of counterintuitive, that with an active PJ in particular, what you can do is you can turn down the bass, turn down the treble rather, and with the bass slightly boosted. And even with the treble turned down, you still get enough highs to get a good pop. But anyway, as I said before, I really think that if you drop the treble and boost the bass slightly, not a whole lot, you get a really workable slap tone out of a PJ. And this works on active PJs. For passives, I guess you could probably work it from the amp, or if you have a separate preamp, like say one of those Sadowski DI preamps, or like the Aguilar or Pope or the Federa, any of those, you can kind of do what I did. But yeah, I think turning down the treble a little bit, or a lot, gives a good bass tone. don't necessarily have the best chops, but I did figure out how to get a pretty good tone. And so, yeah, my advice, if you have an active PJ like this is the Ibanez TMB605. What works is to cut the treble down, boost the bass slightly, not a whole lot, and you still get a lot of brightness on your slaps. And but it's not out of control treble, and it's a very functional sound. I mean, it's not a jazz based sound, but it kind of gets in the neighborhood, and I think it works well. Anyway, that's my tip for the day.